This is a honeybee, Apis mellifera, and this is a white clover, Trifolium repens. If you have ever set foot on a lawn in the springtime, you are bound to have witnessed these species interacting. The clover produces a flower, which attracts the bee with its bright white petals. When the bee lands to feed, tiny hairs on its body pick up pollen from the flower. Then, the bee moves on to the next flower, dropping off pollen from the previous plant in the process. This is an example of mutualism, in which the interaction yields a positive result for both species. Specifically, the bee gets nectar from the flower, which supplies them with energy and is used to make honey, which is then used to feed their larvae. The clover, in return, gets help distributing its pollen to other individuals, helping them to reproduce while preventing inbreeding. Bees and other pollinators have long since had mutualistic relationships with flowering plants, and many species have even co-evolved to be specifically reliant on each other. But how can we be certain, in this case, that both the honeybee and the clover benefit from this interaction? After all, other plants, such as apple trees, are more significantly impacted by wild bee populations than by honeybees, and honeybee colonies tend to thrive best when they have access to a variety of flowering plants. We can test this hypothesis by varying the population densities of both species within plots built to exclude other pollinators. Then, we can measure the number of larvae and the volume of honey produced by the bees over a certain period of time, such as 30 days. If the number of larvae is larger and the volume of honey is greater with the larger population of clovers, then we can conclude that the bee population benefited from the interactions. Similarly, we can measure the genetic diversity and the number of clovers. If the clover population is larger and more genetically diverse with a greater population of bees, then we can conclude that the clover population benefited from the interactions as well.